Welcome back, baby buds. This is Lapidusum speaking, and today we are diving deeper into the rabbit hole that spans Labyrinth. I will try to keep my yapping shorter today than I have mostly in the past, and try talking more about what I should be talking more about, which is the analysis of these scenes. However, before we get into it, I will say that I am planning on turning these speed paints into a larger project once I'm done with all of this, which will probably be sometime next year, the end of summer maybe. Considering how much time these paintings are taking me, I will try to keep it about up to an hour long rant about the entirety of Pan's Labyrinth and my conclusions of the whole movie based on the visual language of these scenes. I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I am taking my screenshots from a site called FilmGrab. I believe they do have screenshots of other important movies as well. I haven't really checked them out, but I'm looking forward to using them even more in the future. So, about this scene, it actually took me a while downloading and inserting the image as a reference into Krita to even notice the fairy on the left side of the screen there, just because of how well it blends into the tree and how it really doesn't seem to be a point of focus on this piece. Obviously, the car can be seen more easily as a point of focus because that's where the movement is happening. That's where um, we see a human and it's just out of place, a car in the middle of the forest. But it's very interesting how all the light is basically around the car and none of it actually hits the car itself or the people, the same way that it doesn't hit the bug. And that's especially interesting considering how bright and colorful this scene is. Overall, if you just look at it, it really does feel magical, this landscape. And again, it's a fairly uncommon choice to have your foreground in shadow and your point of action in shadow, whereas everything else is bright and well lit. But obviously not noticing the fairy the first time, I mistook the car as the foreground first, which is obvious not because it's way deeper into the canvas than the bug. And regarding this image to the previous one that I made, that is the landscape with the castle, or I mean the mill, in the background. I also clarified in that one that I'm not an expert on Spanish vegetation, but those plants looked the way certain darker breeds or darker appearances of the vegetation appear to be more like a cancer grow or like rust or some sort of mushroom, as I said in that video, probably. This one to me proves that it's not the local vegetation's fault because these plants clearly look like plants. Um, I mean, those look like plants as well, but these don't remind me of rust at all. These to me have a much more healthy looking feeling, and it's just, for me, it's easier to kind of smell the scene, I guess, because it looks closer to the plants that I grew up around, and they are just a lot more familiar to me. And you can see me struggling to get the lighting right. Um, Also, I had to watch another tutorial video, this time about lighting, to be able to pull this off. You can see me struggling with that endlessly. And I did not want to do any shortcuts because I really wanted to get the lighting right, especially since I know of myself to be lacking in those skill sets of lighting and color. And the whole point of this journey was for me to get better um, in those fields as well. Not only to understand this more better, but that's also a very important reason. So I try to give it my all, really. It only took me one day to finish, one afternoon to be precise. So I can feel that I'm already getting better at it. I'm already starting to have like a routine that seems to be working for me, so I don't have to stop and think about what my next step is going to be. That might not be reflected in the length of this video though, but it definitely was as I was doing it. Like, obviously I'm not going to record myself doing nothing and just staring at my canvas for a while. But it's obviously those parts that I didn't have so many of, which is why my progress was much better today or yesterday. Also, in regards to the previous one I made, you can see that in both scenes the darkest values all belong to the car or the truck in the previous one, in a way that they not only seem out of place but out of reality almost. And with them being so dark and the rest of the scenery being so bright and warm, it really gives me the idea of human presence um, corrupting the view, or not only human presence but the presence of adults and machinery, to be more precise. And we're almost done. So I'll probably just talk about the way the canvas is divided in my short form edition of this speed paint. So stay tuned for that. Thanks. Bye. Also follow me on Instagram.